Royal portrait photography has been around as long as photography itself. During the past century, many photographers captured the likeness of members of our family. But two particular figures, I think, represented quite a special relationship. One being Cecil Beaton, who captured portraits of members of our family across 6 decades, and Anthony Armstrong-Jones, who was an established photographer in the 1950s, but then married Princess Margaret in 1960, eventually becoming Lord Snowdon. Cecil Beaton is one of the most important and influential photographers of the 20th century. His style was influenced by his love for the theatre, which can be seen in his employment of backdrops and very dramatic lighting. But Beaton was also influenced by Hollywood. He photographed many of Hollywood stars, including Marlene Dietrich, Gary Cooper, Greta Garbo, and many more. His first commission from a member of their family came in 1927 from Princess Louise, one of the children of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. During the 1930s, other members of the royal family commissioned Beaton. Queen Elizabeth, later Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, asked to be portrayed by him. The 1939 issue started in the state apartments in Buckingham Palace and then later moved on into the gardens. During this sitting, Cecil Beaton created this new image by mixing tradition with modernity and transformed what was Queen Elizabeth's image from that of an elegant woman to that of a romantic figure of ageless beauty. Beaton was also chosen to be the photographer to capture the new Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, at their coronation, which was arguably one of the most prestigious photography commissions of the century. Beaton remained one of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother's favourite photographers, and he was commissioned across the decades. Princess Margaret was another member of their family who commissioned Beaton regularly. In fact, she and her fiancé, Anthony Armstrong-Jones, chose Beaton to be their wedding photographer. Anthony Armstrong-Jones was an established photographer from the 1950s. In 1960, he married Princess Margaret, becoming the first Earl of Snowdon in 1961, and thereafter choosing Snowdon as his professional name. Snowdon's modern, sleek and unpretentious approach to photography appealed to the royal family, and he continued to photograph members of our family throughout his career. Being married to Princess Margaret and becoming himself a member of our family gave him a relationship and access. This is translated to perhaps a more relaxed approach, but also a way to build a rapport with them throughout the years. Snowdon's first commission by the royal family came in 1956. He was commissioned to photograph Prince Charles and Princess Anne in the picture gallery at Buckingham Palace. It's a large space and all its doors are mirrored, creating this extra sense of perspective between the lenses and of course the sitters. One of Snowdon's best-known portraits is this photograph of Princess Margaret, taken in 1967. The photograph captures Princess Margaret's beauty and also shows the great level of trust and intimacy between the photographer and the sitter. Both Beaton and Snowdon liked to rely on natural light whenever possible. When Beaton starts to revisit his style to make it more modern in the 1960s, he looks at Armstrong-Jones as one of his models and influence. For example, in this portrait from 1965, Princess Margaret and Lord Snowdon are photographed by Beaton in a style which is very close to Snowdon's own taste. We can see here a very plain background, the use of natural light, and the very tight crop in the frame, which are elements of Snowdon's style. Considering royal portrait photography across the 20th century, Cecil Beaton and Snowdon are certainly the two key figures, partially because of the length of time they have been working with members of the family, but also because of the special relationship, the special rapport they managed to build between sitters and photographer. And this level of trust really shows through the portraits.